Terrell Harris here. Today's question of the day is our manhood predicated on our sexuality? So what came up for me this morning during meditation is whether or not we as men are defined to be a man based on our sexuality. So I remember growing up as a teen, and we do what guys do. We make fun of each other for the type of women we deal with. We make fun of each other for not having a girlfriend at the time. We make fun of each other for not having sex. So as men, what happens is as we begin to get older, as we come out of the teenage stage into being young adults, to prove ourselves as men, oftentimes we try to get as many females as possible, ultimately treating women as objects instead of treating them as human beings. So the question that comes to my mind is, what happens when our sex drive starts to change, or what happens when we become more mature? Are we no longer men? Now, the thing about it is, if you would have told me this, when I was a teenager, I probably wouldn't have cared, because, guys are pretty rough on each other, and we make fun of each other for not, having a woman or not having a girlfriend. So I remember feeling pressure to have sex to prove myself as a man. And that is is looking back at it now as a 39-year-old, that was probably the stupidest thing I could actually do, because ultimately, not only do we mistreat the women that are involved, but then we put ourselves in potential danger by trying to increase our numbers as it relates to our sexual partners. So just remember this, men especially, and women listening or watching too, who we are as men is not defined by our sexuality. It's not defined by who we are or who we have in our bedrooms or in our beds at night. And the interesting thing about it is, when we begin to see this, then we are able to look at those who are LGBT and realize that they are men too. And the negative terms that we use towards men that are LGBT diminish. So when I know and realize that my sexuality doesn't determine or doesn't make me a man, then I see my LGBT brother as a man as well, and that eradicates the fear and the tension I have, and it actually blows away or blows up the homophobia ideas that I have in my head. So that is the thought for today. Maybe a little bit more provocative than usual, but the reason I wanted to share this is because for individuals who may be watching this who may be a little bit younger, just remember this, young man. Doesn't matter who you have sex with, doesn't matter how many numbers you have as it relates to your sexual partners, doesn't matter if they're extremely low, doesn't matter if they're zero. Ultimately, your sex, your sexuality, your sex habits do not make you a man. What makes you a man is being responsible. What makes you a man is growing to God, growing into God, who God has called you to be. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied. And what makes you a man is being able to provide for your family, just to name a few things. So that is all. Peace and blessings. My name is Terrell Harris. Once again, you could follow us on Facebook, The Open Box, and you can visit theopenbox.com for more messages like this. Peace.